believer. We are kicking off a week-long study today on the book of Esther. This study is called Divine Constellation. That term has come to mean a lot to me. The first time I heard it, I was talking to my friend Stacy, and we were just discussing how over time we begin to see how God connects every trial, every bit of suffering, every person we've ever met, the places that we go, and how he connects all of those into a divine constellation over the course of our life. And when she was the one that said it, she said, it's like a divine constellation. And then she stopped and she said, Tina, write that down. That's a song. So I did write it down, and it did become a song. You're going to hear it in just a little bit from a very special guest. But as I was writing it, I really began to think about those distant stars that are connected and that illumine the sky, and how that's similar in our own life. Maybe I didn't pay attention in science class, but I really learned more about how stars are formed during this study. Maybe you already know this, but stars are formed under intense pressure and weight. There's an interstellar cloud, and it fragments, and then due to turbulence, it literally collapses into a star. And I was like, well, how much like life is that? We go through fragmentation, we go through turbulence to the point of implosion, and that forever defines that part of our life. And then as we carry on, those seasons in our life begin to work together for God's good. And when my friend said divine constellation, I began to see how parts of our life come under intense pressure to the point of fragmentation and collapse. And it's those points in our life that produce in us light that serves to light our way. And when all the stars in time are connected, they become divine constellations. In ancient times, people would look to the stars and the constellations to navigate certain seasons. And we certainly do that with the divine constellations in our life. Not only do they serve to guide us and define our purpose within us, but we use it to help others. And God brings light to that darkness for us and for others. I think one of the most modern day Esthers that we have today is Christine Caine. If you don't know her, I highly recommend that you listen to one of her services or one of her sermons. But Christine Caine came from a place similar to Esther. She was orphaned, she was abused for almost a decade, and now she also took on a really dangerous task, and still does through her A21 ministry, which has to do with human trafficking. But Christine Caine did not become who she is in spite of what she went through. She became who she is because of what happened to her. And so we can use and leverage what we've been through for the glory of God, and he wants to be a partner in that. So Esther is an exciting book, and I did not know this until I began my research on this book. You're going to learn things that you did not even expect. I know I did, but Esther means star, and her adoptive father Mordecai means dedicated to Mars. So when I decided on this study, and I decided to call it Divine Constellations because I could see how it was so tightly woven into that, I just kept seeing more and more about Divine Constellation. For tomorrow, I'm going to need you to read chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then I want to just for a second take a look at who's who. King Xerxes is the king of Persia. Esther is the Jewish orphan who becomes queen of Persia. Mordecai is Esther's cousin who becomes her adoptive father. And Haman is the king's official and an anti-Semite. Now that you know who's who in the book of Esther, it's going to give you a firm footing to begin tomorrow's study. Today was just our introduction. That'll give you a chance to read chapters 1 and 2 for tomorrow. Now I want to introduce you to a special friend in my life. Her name is Brienne. Brienne's going to be singing for you today. And as you listen to her and look at her, I just want you to think, this is about the same age Esther is when we start the book tomorrow. Brienne, I want to say a special thank you. You are so special to me, and she is using her gift of song for the Lord. She's also getting into some Christian songwriting. I have one of her worship songs on my phone, and I just love listening to it. I get a blessing every single time, and I know you're going to get a blessing from Brienne singing Divine Constellation to get us into our study of the book of Esther. Have a great day.
Divine